So we're going to jump in. Our last two speakers, John Hinson and Noelle Cerna. Um, John has nearly a decade of experience in editorial and marketing roles. John Hinson serves in a leadership role for Spotlight Branding, a well-known company that helps solo and small law firms and financial professionals grow their business through content, not sleazy online marketing. We're talking very strategic, very specific, very targeted content. John writes blogs, hosts podcasts, and positions and showcases his firm's expertise in the marketing space. So he knows exactly what he's about. John, welcome to the Law Firm Growth Conference.
Well, hey, thank you so much for having me. It's been a real honor for you to have me here. I'm really excited to be part of this.
Fantastic. I'm going to go and stop my share, and you have the stage.
Awesome. All right. So, um, my screen is showing correct. Let me Can I get a confirmation? Perfect. I got a confirmation. We are good to go. So yes, like Alay said, and as you can see on the screen, I'm going to be talking to you about how to attract better clients. One of the biggest reports that we do here at Spotlight Branding is our legal marketing trends report. If you followed us, maybe you've been asked to participate. We're going to be doing it again this year. We're going to be sending out requests for submissions and responses here in a few weeks. But one of the big statistics that we found last year was that 72% of law firms want either or they want better quality clients rather than just getting more leads. And, you know, there's a lot in the marketing world. Alay mentioned a little bit where it's, kind of sleazy and it just like the overarching message is just get more clients, more leads, more leads, more leads. And it doesn't necessarily have to be how you market your firm. And even better, what I'm going to be sharing with you today is really, really attainable. And so it's something that you can do on your own. Whether you should, that's a completely different discussion and it's probably been covered so far in this conference. If not, it'll be covered, tomorrow. But everything here is really simple. Like I'm not going to be sharing something that's like earth shattering. It's real common sense stuff. So let's kind of jump into it here, and kind of talk about, what we mentioned. Most marketing, if you listen to any marketing gurus out there, any of these other companies, they're going to focus on more clients. But I've talked to a lot of attorneys. I go to a lot of these conferences, and almost every time they find out I'm in marketing, they kind of recoil and they're like, "Oh, I don't need more clients. Oh, I've got more business than I can handle." Some of you may probably feel that way right now. But the other side of that coin is, all right, fine. You may not need more business or you may not need more clients, but what about better clients? What about, eliminating a lot of that stress and a lot of the difficulties that certain clients bring to you, right? Wherever you get them from, whether it's Google, paid ads, all that kind of stuff, right? And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about, talking about spending less time referring out cases that you don't like to work on or that you don't like to handle, spending less time trying to sell and trying to convince people that you are the right attorney to work with, rather than when really they're just concerned about paying the least amount they could possibly pay. So what you can do to market your firm is eliminate a lot of those barriers rather than just focusing on trying to get as many leads as you can or trying to get as many, inbound phone calls as you can. And that's kind of what I'm here to help you talk about. Now, the key takeaway from all of this, none of this is actually going to work unless you have a written plan of direction. All right. That's the only way that this doesn't work, because this is what kind of keeps you accountable. This is kind of how you can get your roadmap set up and all of that. And it's through a marketing plan. And a lot of law firms may not be familiar with a marketing plan. It's pretty common in the marketing world. But if you don't know, or if you've never done one before, we have a free marketing plan template available. I think someone in my team is in here. They can post that URL. There it goes right there. I've got the chat pulled up. So you can get this marketing plan template. It walks you through every kind of marketing strategy that your law firm can do. You don't have to do all of them, but then it helps you build it out over a 12-month span. And this is what's going to help you, cover all your bases, figure out what you need to do, maybe what you need to do more of, or maybe do less of, all that kind of stuff. And so go to that URL that Mike has put in the chat, grab this template, and then honestly, our team is available. If you want to talk with us, help you fill it out, we can help you do that. So moving forward, all right, what does better clients actually mean? All right, sure, more referrals, the first point there, does mean more clients, but I think you would agree that referrals are generally easier and better to work with, right? Because they come in, someone who knows you has already vouched for you, they have already built that initial level of trust, all right? And so you have one less barrier to overcome with someone who comes in as a referral, right? But here's the thing, and I know for a lot of you, you're probably saying, well, John, most of my business or all of my business comes from referrals already. The thing is, though, and if you followed us for any amount of time, you've heard us cite this study that was done almost a decade ago now, that most law firms are only getting about a third of the referrals that their network and their audience is willing to give them, right? And there are a ton of reasons why it's only one third, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But the core of that statistic means that even if 100% of your business comes from referral already, you still have the opportunity to double what your firm does just by focusing even more on the referrals that you get, and employing marketing strategies that help generate those, right? The other ones, higher paying clients, obviously that means they pay you more money, and more money is great. It also means that you can do more of the work you enjoy doing, not necessarily, even if you don't want to double your caseload, right? You want to just do, I don't know what a good number is. If you want to do 5 cases a week, that's fine. You can keep doing 5 cases a week, but rather than doing five that you just have to take because you need to take them because you're being a door lawyer, now you can take the five that you actually really enjoy doing, right? We had a client who practiced estate planning and family law, and she was absolutely miserable doing family law, but she was ultimately getting more of those cases, right? But absolutely miserable doing family law, really preferred doing estate planning law. Focuses her marketing on estate planning, she was able to drop family law altogether. Not only was she now happier, you know, just doing family law, just the mental health side of things, but she's also like was able to be seen as the estate planning expert. She was able to charge more premium rates for that. And that's where all of this really starts to come together. So the last one there is that better clients are more informed and they're more prepared to move forward with you, so that you're not competing on price, you're not competing with other lawyers in your market. You're spending less time selling in those consultations, and you spend more time working on those cases, right? So there's a quote, I don't know who came up with it, but I've heard it before. The best cases go to the best marketers, right? Another statistic that we polled in our trends report was like, what is one of the biggest reasons why you think you lose out to other law firms? And the law firm, having more experience or being a better lawyer, that's the lowest rated response almost every single year that we've done that. And so it's truly not that the best lawyers get all the good cases, right? It's the ones who market themselves the best. And so, like I mentioned, a lot of marketing agencies, a lot of these marketing experts, they're going to focus on trying to just generate as many leads for you as they possibly can. The problem, and it's twofold with that, right? Like, one, a lot of times those leads are not great leads. All right, they're not qualified. They're asking you to handle issues and practice areas that you don't cover, so you have to refer those cases out. In other instances, they're just kind of price shopping. They're kicking the tires. They're really only going to hire you if you're the cheapest and the fastest, which those two things never really mix well together, right? But at the same time, they also just don't they don't qualify those leads, right? So again, could be a different practice area, could be that, they're just price shopping, whether they're coming from Google or from pay-per-click ads or even, Facebook ads or anything like that. And I'll differentiate Facebook here later on. But again, it's really all about quality rather than the quantity. And so another way to compare it is hunting versus farming. Like hunting is pretty exciting. I don't do it, but I understand why it's exciting. You're going out, you're searching for the new thing. You're ready to just kind of bring in and gather as much as you can. And what so many lawyers fail to do is they're super excited about hunting, but they don't come back and farm and nurture what they've already got. And that's where a lot of those referrals live. That's where a lot of those warm leads live. A lot of lawyers just focus on lead gen. And then once that person gets in their pipeline, they kind of just sit around and hope that the person makes a decision. There's not a lot of nurturing activities going on. So, how then do you attract those better clients? How do you get them to eliminate a lot of those barriers that exist? You do it really in two simple steps. All right. The first one is to build credibility. This is primarily what branding encompasses. It's not just your logo, it's not just your tagline or your color scheme. Branding is the aura that you exhibit, right? It's what people know you as. It is your reputation. It is your authority. And I get it, right? Like people want to work with experts and they want to trust that the person they're working with has the expertise to do it. And lawyers face this problem in two ways, right? Not only do people not inherently trust you, the legal industry has huge trust issues. That's not shocking news to anybody. But I also know that you can't just outright call yourself an expert unless you are board certified. But properly branding yourself and positioning yourself as the expert through the marketing that you do, that communicates that message that you are the expert, right? I use this analogy a lot, right? If you need to go have heart surgery, you're not going to go get a general practitioner to do that surgery, right? You're going to seek out the most skilled expert heart surgeon you can find to do the job. The same goes for the lawyers that people want to work with. We're in a day and age now where a lot of people want to find that specialized expert. And so, that's why we also preach about, maybe niching down a little bit more. If you're covering 5 practice areas, maybe reduce it down to 3, 2, or preferably 1, you know, and people will then see you as, oh, that's the estate planning expert. That's the criminal defense expert. And they will be more willing to trust you, more easily. They're not going to haggle on those prices because you're not just another lawyer anymore. You are the lawyer. So again, uh, all of this starts with your website. All right. This is where these marketing strategies start to come into play. Your website is the central hub for all of your marketing. It is your digital business card. It's your digital office space. Right. And so if people arrive on your website, however they find you, if your website looks like garbage, people are not going to have the highest impression of you. They're going to think that you and your work as a lawyer is a reflection of your website. So that's why you want to have a modern, clean design. That's why you want to make sure it's updated every few years to keep up with design standards. But also, you want your website to be more than just a homepage, an about page, some practice area pages, and a contact page, right? You want to be able to use your website as a means to demonstrate your expertise. Have a robust blog page, have a video library that showcases you answering common questions that you get. If you do a podcast, it's a great place to post episodes of your podcast. Have a lead magnet that provides information that answers common questions and a reason why people are coming to you in the first place. Right. I've got a few examples here that just kind of show you what I'm talking about. Right. Some of these websites, I'm pretty sure at least 2 of these have won design awards for their layout, for just kind of what they feature. And so, these are clients of ours, and you can see all of these designs are very clean. They're very modern. It's very obvious what these law firms do. It's very obvious who they are and what they serve. The one here in the middle, the IP Works, shows their proven process. And, there's different philosophies on that, but it shows you how they help. And it shows which different areas they specialize in or their expertise is in, even though none of them say, hey, we are experts in this. But these websites give you that feeling that that's what they do and how they help. The same thing goes for social media. All right. Marketing gurus out there are going to tell you that social media for businesses can be used for lead generation. Oh, you could generate a ton of leads on social media. For law firms, that's not necessarily going to be the case, right? A lot of times you're dealing with very sensitive information. People aren't going to want to openly engage, right? They're not going to want to like posts about divorce, right? It's just not going to happen. But what you can do is use it as a platform to help share information, because here's what's going to happen, right? Um, Including your website, when people are referred to you, all right, it's not the way it used to be where they're just going to blindly accept Bob's referral and Bob's recommendation, right? Bob's going to give them your name, but then they're going to go and try to find your website. They're going to go and look you up on social media. And there's an expectation now. We live in a day and age now where any established business is expected to be on social media and is expected to be contributing regularly. I mean, posting daily, maybe or multiple times a week, right? And you're not going to annoy your audience. You're not going to overshare. But, if you do it the right way, you're going to be sharing helpful information, tips. You're going to be educating your audience. You're going to be showing them that you're not just there to try to take all of their money, even if that's like your underlying goal, whatever, that's up to you, but you're there as just this helpful resource to make sure people know what their rights are, to help make sure people understand what they need to do if they ever find themselves in any kind of given situation. And so again, here's some examples, of clients that we work with, and what that actually looks like. There's all kinds of different posts. It's really talking about, you know, different areas of law, different ways to, navigate certain situations. One thing that I particularly like about this strategy, and you can see it here, not every single post is a call to action to call the firm. Like, yes, there's, this one example right here, but it's not every single post. And that's what's great about social media is you don't have to treat it like a billboard. I see so many law firms that every single post is the exact same graphic and it's the exact same copy. Call our office, call our office. No, that's what's going to annoy your audience. That's what's going to make people ignore you. But, you know, if you want people to take action, and you can drive traffic to your website with blogs and videos and all that kind of stuff, and really become, like I said, a really solid resource for all of that valuable information. So one of the things that a lot of people struggle with is coming up with consistent content. Here's another thing that I want to share with you all that we can help. This is a social media calendar that we have come up with. It is going to provide you several different types of posts that you can create, inspirational quotes, different third-party articles from other websites, lead magnets that you have that, this is how you can generate some leads, but not, it's more of like a credibility establisher. Share other pages from your website, other blogs, videos, all that kind of stuff. You can go to spotlightbranding.com/growth to grab this social media calendar. And, it really walks you through how to post that. It's not just post types, but then it breaks down. I think it gives you like a 2-week period of what to post, when to post it. All right. So, all that kind of stuff there. Go to spotlightbranding.com/growth. I will leave that URL down there for the next couple of slides in case you want to go and check that out. Now, other things that you can do to brand yourself or manage your reputation, do a podcast. All right. Selfish plug. We have a great podcast here at Spotlight Branding called the Law Firm Marketing Minute. Episodes go out every single day. We've been doing it for, God, a decade now, I think, or almost a decade. Alay, he has a really great podcast. I've been on it. Alay's been on ours. Really great information. It's great at helping, be a thought leader. And so a lawyer can do a podcast, either interviewing other people in their network, which is a great way to, generate referrals, or it's just you free flowing stream of consciousness talking about a legal concept for 15, 20 minutes, right? Again, the idea and the expectation is not that you're going to turn into the next Joe Rogan and have thousands of people listening and downloading every single episode that you do, but you build that library of episodes. People can come through and pick and choose what is relevant to them and what they want to listen to. They see that on your website, and it's a huge credibility booster. The other thing is to actively pursue reviews, build up reviews on your Facebook page or your Google page, whatever the case is. Even have people send you their testimonial in your email, and you can post it to your website and have a testimonials page on your website. You can then use that as social media content. See how it all works together? Make this a key part of your processes. When people are kind of offboarding, the case is wrapped up, say, hey, really enjoyed working with you, even if you didn't, and ask them to say something nice, leave a positive review, if you believe that they would do something like that, right? That takes care of step one, right? Step two, and this is where a lot of law firms fail and fail miserably. It is to stay top of mind with your audience. All right. So many law firms get leads, and then they just kind of, like I said earlier, they sit around and hope they schedule a consultation. Um, Another thing that they do is they don't know how to properly communicate with those leads. I heard a story, another guy that we know who owns an agency who does lead gen for lawyers. He generated like 30 leads from Facebook ads from lawyers, which is a different thing than just posting on Facebook, right? Like Facebook ads is more in that PPC pay-per-click realm, whereas we're just talking about posting content to Facebook. But he got 30 some leads for a law firm from Facebook. And this lawyer, rather than reaching out and contacting these leads immediately, which you absolutely should do, at least within the first 24 hours, this lawyer basically was like, all right, I'm just going to pick a day on my calendar in the month, and I'm going to just reach out to all of them all at once. Well, guess what? He started with the first lead that came in, which had come in 2 or 3 weeks ago. And he goes through like the first 5, calls all of them, no one answers, and then just assumes that the rest of them were junk leads. That is not what you should be doing. All right. That is a waste of your money. That's a waste of resources. Have it in your systems to reach out to any new lead you get within 24 hours. All right. That is the most important thing. There's statistics and data all around like time to lost lead, all that kind of stuff, where the first 24 hours are super, super, super important. Right. But at the same time, it's not just new leads, right? Lawyers neglect their entire contact list on a regular basis. I mean, you have past clients who could be great referral sources, or even sources of repeat business if that makes sense for your practice area. You also have other lawyers who could send you preferred cases, especially if you're putting out content that you want to be known for. That helps those other lawyers who regularly refer you cases to understand what it is you actually want to do. You also have, other like vendor contacts, strategic contacts, right? Like CPAs or mental health counselors, marriage counselors, whatever the case is, other professionals that could end up referring work to you. All of that. And so many lawyers fail to just simply keep in touch. All right. So, how do you do that in a way that is simple and scalable? You do it with an email newsletter. Right. It is a super efficient marketing tool. All you have to do is send this once a month, and you don't have to come up with unique content for it. Take a blog from your website, take a video from your website, plug it in there, and that's it. That's all you have to do. It is so, so simple, and yet it is something that so many law firms don't do. Over half of the law firms, I think it was around 40% of people in our trends report did email newsletters. So you still got 60% that don't. We had a client one time, he was on a flight and he met this stranger. They got to talking. Our client told him he was a business lawyer. The guy he was, said he was probably thinking about starting a business. He wasn't quite ready yet. So our lawyer got his contact information. got back to his office, plugged it into his email newsletter system, and got going, right? 2 years later, he sent him an email newsletter for 2 years. This guy finally reaches out and says, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me. We were on a flight together. I'm ready to start my business. I want you to help me do it." It's that simple. And this was a business that this client of ours never would have gotten had he not been sending an email newsletter. So here are some examples of what that might look like. It's pretty simple, right? You have an introductory section that says, hey, thanks for reading our newsletter. Maybe it's a quick message. This is what our newsletter talks about this month. That's it, right? You have sections on how to book a consultation. You've got those calls to action there. A little bit farther down, it's not really in these images, but there's a section for the video of the month and then the featured content, right? Guess what's not in there? No extra frills, no community events that you have to search for that you're not even going to go to, and absolutely no cookie recipes. All right, keep that trash out. You're not a chef, you're not a baker, all right, you're a lawyer. Keep your email newsletter. This is my biggest pet peeve in email marketing, is to see law firms that have cookie recipes in their email newsletters. Going back to social media, this is what I was talking about. Social media helps keep you top of mind as well, because you're able to post consistently and keep showing up in people's lives. And they're not going to see every post just with the way the algorithms work, but they will see your stuff consistently if they're following you. And that's great. And that is absolutely all you got to do. Try to post daily. All right. No amount is going to be too much. All right. Because like I said, those algorithms, they're not going to push your content out to everybody. But again, it's just such an easy thing to do. Use that social media calendar that we provided, and it makes your job a lot easier. All right. Wrapping up here, here's how you know your branding is working. All right. Things that marketers tell you to pay attention to that you should not pay attention to. All right. Likes, followers, other kinds of engagement on social media. As a law firm, your content's too sensitive. It's probably not going to happen for the most of you. Email open rate. All right. It's an overrated statistic because there's also value in just seeing your firm's name and the subject line show up in the inbox. All right. Not every email newsletter is going to be relevant to everyone. So keep that in mind. Your Google ranking, as long as you can type in your name or your firm's name and you show up as the first result, that's all the SEO you need. All right. You also don't necessarily need to worry super a lot about video and blog views. All right. Just keep putting it out there. Keep putting it out there. People will consume what they want. Instead, what you should be looking at, more referrals. You want to make sure that your average case value then increases over time as long as you continue to raise your rates. You want to make sure that the case type and the diversity becomes a little bit more focused. You want to look at your consultation win rate, the overall client quality, and how the better conversion on all of your other marketing efforts works. All right. Don't have enough time to go into that, but it's absolutely a key point. If you're already doing SEO, keep doing it. That's fine. But when you have a robust blog page, a robust video page, you'll find that you'll start ranking a lot better as well. So wrapping up, this is how we do it here at Spotlight Branding. We create recurring touch points, blogs, videos, social media posts, video for you, website design, email newsletters, and we create content that is relevant to your audience, not to other lawyers, but to the audience that's actually going to be hiring you. We produce it at volume, right? We repurpose content to make even more content for you, and we keep it evergreen, all right? It's not time sensitive. It's stuff that people are going to continue to find value with 6, 8, 18, 24 months down the road. So would love to talk to you about all the ways that we can help. If there is something that we can help you with, go to spotlightbranding.com/schedule. If you do book by September 30th, I'm going rogue here. You get your first month free, right? Our owner didn't approve that, but I'm just doing it. So we'll make it happen if you are interested in working with us. I think I've got like a minute left. I don't know if that's enough time for questions, but I do know that Alay will make my contact info available for anyone who has any additional questions after that.
John, thank you so much. That was fantastic. 30-minute overview. What I love is you blew away a lot of the common assumptions that we hear about consistently from SEO companies and marketing companies and digital marketing companies. So thank you for doing that. This makes sense. What I love about your stuff is it just intuitively makes sense. Like, duh. and you lay it out really clearly. So thanks for sharing all that information. Everyone, there's info in the chat about Spotlight Branding, and if you want a copy of John's slides and recording, I'll share with you how to get that at the end. John, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it.